Welcome to Game Crunch, your weekly video game podcast. My name is Mike Anastasia. With me today we have Nick.
Hello.
And that's it. Just the two of us.
That's it.
Yeah.
I sing
Brandon.
the song, but I'm not good at it, and I also don't want us to get copyright strikes.
I'm guessing if it were that bad, they probably wouldn't do that. Right?
That's true. If I sing it bad enough that they can't tell, then maybe it will be fine.
Like, obviously it's parody.
Yeah.
There's we're talking about games and things.
Yeah.
And we don't have Brandon, so we don't have a long list of games today. So we'll just
Brandon forgot how to slip back into our timeline.
Yeah.
And he's still currently stuck in the Brandon zone.
He's in the metaverse playing PlayStation 8. And just can't get back out. So yeah. I mean, so we got things to talk about though. Gamescom has started. You got a brand new game. I'm excited to hear about. We talked about last week. And that's where we are. Ready to get started?
Yeah.
All right. Well, you're up to bat because you have the only new game between the two of us.
Well, I know you've been looking forward to hearing about this since I brought it up last week.
And I have. It's a game that I thought just to blow it out of the water, it's Kirby's Dream Buffet. I was pretty excited about it when they showed off the surprise drop the trailer.
Yeah.
And it looks, I don't know, Kirby stuff is generally hit and miss, but it's usually the experimental stuff that's pretty good.
Yeah.
So that's kind of why I'm like, oh, this might be really exciting, but I don't know. But
I do. So the early impressions that a lot of people were kind of giving of this game, like when they first saw the trailer, was that of it's like, oh, it's just Fall Guys Kirby. Not true. It's not what this game is. This game is more so... How can I explain it? More Mario Party-esque-ish in some ways.
That was more the vibe I got from it.
Yeah. So the general gist of this game is your Kirby, spoilers. And your main objective is to gather strawberries. Okay. I hope I haven't lost you yet in the lore of this.
No.
So you're gathering strawberries, and the way it's broken up to is 4 different segments of main gameplay. So there's the main gameplay mode. I forget what it's called. I think there's like a specific name. It's like Grand Prix or something, where it's 4 different games split up. So the first one is a race to the mountain that has those 3 different tiers of strawberries at the end. So one's 50, another one's 30, and then the last one's 10. And the objective is to get through the pseudo obstacle course that's there, get to the end, and try to be the first one there because you can grab the plate of strawberries at the end. Obviously, you want to try and grab the biggest. However, there are different things that you want to do throughout these races, and I will get back to that towards the end of what I'm talking about here. But there's like cookie walls to break down. There's different fruits you can collect. There's different power-ups throughout the map. So like there's things that make you go faster, like a wheel power, a burning power. There's a tornado power that helps you scoop up strawberries as you're kind of moving. There's a jelly power that lets you pass underneath like obstacles and just completely skip them. So that's the first segment, and then the second segment is a short mini game. Typically, it's the one I usually get is you're in this small block, and these boxes are dropping down, and the objective is to break the boxes and get the strawberries out of them. The other one that I've played so far it's a spinning platform with teacups on it. The teacups will randomly pop out, and then strawberries will fall in them, and you collect them. I don't hate these games. I just kind of deal with them. They're just a little respite in between the first and the second segment, and I just deal with them, and I collect like my little pittance of strawberries, and continue on with my life. Nothing particularly fun about them, but also nothing I can particularly hate on about them. They kind of exist. The third part, another race to the Strawberry Mountain. Same thing again. However, this time you kind of know where your placements are in terms of the strawberry collection. Because your overall main objective is to collect the most strawberries. And during the first race, you're collecting them, they're tacking up, you don't know where you stand. By the third race, it has the number placement next to your number of strawberries. So you'll be like first, second, third, or fourth. So you make your way through the level, same way as the first one. And then the last part of the Grand Prix is what they call a battle royale mode, where it's you and the three other Kirbys, and you're on a platform. Powers will randomly kind of drop, so you can attack other Kirbys to knock them out of the ring. If you knock them out successfully, you steal strawberries from them, which gives you more, but also takes away from them. So it's kind of like a twofold thing. And then randomly, strawberries will fall from the sky. There's a big set of tongs that will hover over the person in first place and try to grab them and like shake strawberries out of them. But overall, it's really fun. There's different boards that I've unlocked through playing the game. So generally, it's the same modes, more or less, with different cosmetic features. So like the one board I was playing on was like the blue dude from Kirby Lost World or Lost. Why am I blanking on name? I just fucking played the game. The last Kirby games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it
Forgotten
Lost
Lands.
World?
Jesus,
Yeah, oh
Forgotten
god, we were
Lands.
so far off. Lost World's a Sonic game, isn't it?
That was a Sonic game. Yes, it is. So like, there's like a ticket, Elfin, whatever his name is. There's like a cake shape of that.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So at the very end of the round, all of your strawberries are tallied up. The fattest Kirby wins, meaning you've collected the most strawberries. However, there is a bit of Mario Party-ness that comes into this at the end, because there are bonus strawberries you get. And the way you get these bonus strawberries is you've broken the most cookie doors or you've floated the most. Um, one like they seem to happen like randomly, like whatever they pick just is like randomly generated. One is like had the most copy powers, ate the most different berries on the board. So, like what I was saying before, like you could have like a blueberry or like a cherry. So anything that wasn't a strawberry that you can eat, would feed into it. So there's been times where I've been in like first place, but only by like a little bit, and then somebody else maybe did like two other things that I didn't do more, and then they get 40 strawberries per objective that they did, mystery objective that they did, and then puts that over the top to beat you. Um, and that all kind of depends on your kind of personality. If like you're trying to take this game as a serious competitive sport, probably won't have you probably won't have much fun with the randomness that has at the end. Otherwise, you're fine. Um, it's still very fun. And then the strawberries tally up, and you when that gets tallied into your kind of bank, you gain levels and you unlock things. So you can unlock colors for Kirby, different face masks. I think so far I've unlocked like a Rick costume, Meta Knight, Waddle Dee, King DDD, the colors that come with it. You also unlock different like cookie art that has just things from Kirby's past games on it, and you can decorate a cake that's in the main hub world. Um, and then you can also unlock different games and game boards through doing these as well. So they kind of like drip feed you a little bit for different game modes. The max level is 135, and I'm currently at 40, and I've been playing for a couple of days. Um, so all in all, it's pretty fun. It's pretty, I don't want to say monotonous, but it's pretty low key. You can hop in, play a couple. Actually, I came home today and played like two or three matches, and I was like, all right, cool. Let me go do some other things now. The online is kind of what you'd expect from a Nintendo game. It's very hit and miss. I've had some matches where the Wi-Fi connection is perfect, and I've had other ones where it's like a slideshow.
Yeah. Is it
You
just
also
random people it pairs you up with?
So you can do random online battles, or you can create your own password rooms and like have your friends join.
Oh, okay.
And you can also play it locally too. So, which is good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it seems to me, are we in the Kirby anniversary year? Is that what's going on here? Or was that last year?
I think it was last year.
Because I know they also did yes, so this year is the 30th anniversary for Kirby.
Oh no, it is. You're right, because they just did that concert. Yes.
And like this game pretty much just feels like a Kirby 30th like celebration, and like this is his birthday cake.
That makes sense.
Kind of wish it was free, but it's also like not worth the $15. because I do have a lot of fun playing it, and it is only $15. Like it's not. If it was like 30, I'd be like, whoa, pump the brakes. But for uh for 15, it's fun, and like I love Kirby, so I get a lot of replay value out of it. It hasn't really gotten old, because like I said, I'll hop in for like 2 or 3 matches, play, and then be like, all right, cool, let me do something different. Um, but it is very fun. I do have a lot of fun playing. I have a lot of fun playing with my friends online. I've played it locally a few times. But yeah, basically, it's an obstacle course game that is a 30th anniversary celebration for Kirby because it has things like from all the games. It has a music player that has music from all the games. It has remixed music. The music will randomly be randomly selected per Grand Prix that you do. So like I've heard just a bunch of remixes from different Kirby games over the past. So like Gourmet Race played one time that I remember. Some music from Nightmare in Dreamland, which is probably my favorite Kirby game. Yeah, I think Nightmare in Dreamland is one of my favorite Kirby games. Um, but yeah, no, it's super fun, and I would definitely recommend it if you want to spend the money on it. So
I mean,
I don't
15
know.
is pretty reasonable, yeah.
Do you have any questions about the game?
No, I think that my multiplayer question was my big one, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it sounds like you touched on a bit of the other things. I mean, it is kind of like, I guess, what I expected.
Yeah.
Does it tell you, like, what kind of unlockables that you were, like, is
No.
it scheduled or is it, like, gotcha?
So the way it kind of works is when you go into the unlocks menu,
Mhm.
like the next 5 levels, it kind of shows you what you're gonna get. Everything past that is a silhouette. And you can unlock anything from a skin to a costume to a music disc. So you can kind of guess, like, all right, this one at like level 100 is gonna be a music disc because it's the silhouette of a music disc.
Oh, yeah.
So it seems like it's based on whatever you're unlocking for that level. So I think the progression seems to be pretty equitable across the board. So like whatever I get at level 40 would be what you would get at level 40.
Okay, yeah, so
Yeah.
it's very straightforward. You just got to keep doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So um also something that's like really little, but like I loved it, is like the first 4 colors you get,
Mm-hmm.
the names of them. The name of the yellow Kirby is Keeby, which is an insanely like deep cut throwback for any Kirby fan, or for like any like long time Kirby fan, because Keeby has only been named once, and that was from Kirby's Dream Course, and like never showed up again. So like the fact that they're like, should we just call this Yellow? Nah, that's Keeby Yellow. I'm like, fuck yeah, put respect on my man's name.
And now it's locked in.
Yeah, now it's permanent lore. But
Yeah.
no, it sits in a special place with me because like I was always player 2 because I'm a younger brother, so
Mm-hmm.
I'd always get the yellow Kirby because my brother's like, no, I want to be the pink Kirby. I'm like, all right, I'll be fucking yellow, I guess. I'll be the little kernel of corn. So now that like Kibi's in the game, I'm like, yeah, we're gonna rock Kibi colors.
Nice. Do they give
Yeah.
funny names to like all the other ones?
Yeah, so the colors that are based off of like the characters in the game are pretty much like based off of that. So it'll be like DDD blue or like royal blue or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
But the other ones like green tea, chocolate, Kibi's the only one that's like named Kibi. All the other ones are like either like, oh, this is green tea because it's green with like darker green elements to it, or this is like Rick because it's the white colors for Rick. Um but yeah, so that's the only one that's like specifically like this is this Kirby.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but really fun. Like I said, I've had a good time playing with my friends. And if you can suffer through spotty online matches, then you're good.
Nice.
So, but other than that, I haven't really played much of anything else. I think no. Yeah, that's all I've really been up to. So I'll hand it off to you.
Oh, brace yourself. This is
Oh shit.
oh man. No, it's just all I got is just Xenoblade 3. I said I was going to talk about this week, but Brandon's not here, so I'm
Yeah.
going to fill the void with at least a little bit of Xenoblade 3 talk. So I did finish the main campaign, so I'm like done. I told you guys last time I was like on the threshold of it,
Yeah.
and I was like, oh, just be like a short, brisk little walk to the finish. No,
No?
no, it was not. I figured like it would be close, but it was a lot more work than I thought it was going to be. There was like 2 or 3 boss battles between there and the final boss. So I mean, whatever, that's fine. But then like the final boss probably was one of the longest final bosses I think I've ever encountered. Like
Really?
it was like frustratingly slow. Like it was not like I'm dying a lot, and it's like I was over leveled for it. It was a very slow, tedious final boss. It was I probably like 7 stages worth,
Mm-hmm.
and like a lot of them were like just kind of like showpiece stages, like, oh, we're just gonna have you do a little bit of damage, then we can use it to initiate a cutscene kind of thing. Like, fuck right off. Um, like I don't need this much like drama. Like it's this just I want to be done with this right now. So, because I think overall, I want to say the boss itself probably took the boss and maybe like the final cutscene kind of stuff. Probably was like I want to say it was like maybe like a 90-minute ordeal, if not longer, which is too damn long. Just let me be done.
That's yeah.
Yeah. So, I think overall though, I think the story all just comes together cohesively. Some people I saw just were not super thrilled about the ambiguity of the ending, which I didn't really see much ambiguity there. Like it seems really straightforward as to like where you're what is happening after this event. So I don't know. Like they don't come out and hold your hand and spell it out, but you kind of just have a pretty good idea of what happens afterwards. Maybe some of the ambiguity is because they want to use it for whatever this final DLC is going to be, which the Xenoblade creators basically said, between the 3 games and their DLCs respectively should conclusively end this part of the Xenoblade saga.
Mm-hmm.
So they can move on to other topics. So there's 2 different ways I can see it going. One of them's an epilogue, and then one of them's kind of like a mini prologue to the events of this game. Because it's got a decent sized toll. Is anything necessarily worth exploring? I don't know, but the events are there if they want to do it. So it'll be interesting to see where they end up going with it. I do think though, in like retrospect, now that I've had like time to sit on this game, I think this might be the best of the 3 Xenoblade games. Overall, because I think it has the best qualities of all 3 games. I don't think it has the best story. I think the best story is definitively still Xenoblade 1, but I think this one has like the best overall kind of curation of all the stuff that they've developed between the 3 games. So I definitely highly recommend it. I'm somewhere like 100 hours now, I think, with it. I'm still finishing up like some side quests, but I'm obviously not putting as much time into it as I was before because I got through the big stuff. So yeah, it is really good. I do really enjoy it. I'm excited to see what they do for DLC. I have the season pass eventually. I just don't know if any of the DLC stuff prior to the the major DLC thing is worth it. Because the first one is I don't understand why they do season pass stuff like this. There's 4 drops. The first one is like, here's some costumes and some in-game currency. Like, oh, just what'll do. Like, fucking who cares?
Just a little art sound for you.
Yeah. The second one is like, here's the challenge mode and a new hero character. But the thing with those is like, unless you're like actively playing the game, like a new hero character is like, I could have used this when I was actually playing the game. Like,
yeah,
I'm gonna just play these quests or whatever. And then like the third one, they're like more challenges and another hero. So it's like, okay, whatever. And then the last one's like the big DLC drop, which presumably is going to be something more along the lines of the Torna DLC that they did for Xenoblade 2, or maybe even like the Future Connected expansion that they did for Xenoblade 1 when they re-released it on the Switch. So I guess we'll see. I mean, I'm expecting something like a little bit meaty there, at least a couple hours worth of new stuff. But I think they did a good job wrapping up like this trilogy. It'll be interesting to see what they end up going to next. Kind of hope they pick up with Xenoblade X and just start figuring that story the fuck out, because I'm still pissed they just dropped it on a cliffhanger and walked away.
Are you talking about Xenoblade Chronicles X?
Yeah. Xenoblade Chronicles X. The ending was just like, it's like what Netflix does. They're like, hey guys, season finale, here's a huge fucking cliffhanger. Canceled. And it's like that's. I mean, they didn't cancel like a sequel, obviously, because at least that we know of. But they haven't gone back to it. They made two like numbered Xenoblade sequels instead of picking up where X ended. And like I said, that was like a pretty massive cliffhanger they left it on. So I hope so, or at least do like a Xenoblade Chronicles X re-release on the Switch with like I don't know, a little bit of DLC that like fleshes out that ending a bit more because that's just very nasty. I don't know why they would do that. So, I mean, that the only reason you do that is if you know you're going to get a sequel right away, and you can't even
Well,
guarantee it with
yeah.
something like that. So, yeah. But Xenoblade 3, excellent. Highly recommend it. It's definitely going to make my game of the year list somewhere. It's just very well polished, great game. Voice acting's phenomenal. Like the character development's really good. I don't really have anything bad to say about it. I'm just kind of biding time, filling time. So that's it. That's all I got to say about that. The only other thing I really have to talk about this week is it's not even that exciting. Is I got my new Monster Hunter Sunrise amiibo today.
Oh, the amiibos.
Yeah, they showed up from Japan. They just
Ooh,
whoop, just around my doorstep.
very good.
Yeah, the Monster Hunter amiibos are gorgeous. Like the
Uh-huh.
last set were really good. This set is really good too. Like Nintendo's got a lot better with obviously like amiibos. Like we're well past the days of Marth and P stand
Oh my
Link.
God, yeah. If you ever go
Um,
back, you ever have a chance, go back and look at your like first run amiibos.
oh, I do. I do. Like, cause I have them all out. I have them all on display on the shelf, so it's easy just kind of like walk over and be like, "Oh, Marth,
Yeah.
here you are." But just like the amount of detail that they've started to like get in there, like it's like night and day. Like even Min Min, like looks fucking phenomenal. If she was like a first
Yeah.
run amiibo for Smash, she would have looked like garbage.
Oh my
Um,
God, yeah.
but yeah, no, just absolutely gorgeous detail. And the Monster Hunter ones are even beyond, I think, like what we've seen in the Smash lines. Like the ones from uh Monster Hunter earlier, like Monster Hunter Rise, like the first batch. Um those were just absolutely gorgeous. These ones are absolutely gorgeous. Like they're very detailed. They look really nice. I don't have the game yet. It's on my like to buy list one of these days. So
I think
I'm sure
I can't remember if Rise is the newest one, right?
Rise is the newest one, and then what is it? Sunbreak, I think, is what the expansion's called.
Yeah,
Something
so
like
I
that.
was when I was down um what's it in Virginia hanging out for SmashCon, my
Mm-hmm.
buddy was playing it and I I really do wish I liked Monster Hunter. I can't get into it. It's one of those
I
games I can't get
know.
into.
That's my problem
Um
too.
yeah, it's bad. But like I was watching him play, I'm like, this looks so cool. But like I would just watch him play. Like I wouldn't do, like anything else.
That's why I'm kind of like. That's why I have like certain thresholds on certain games. Like, yeah, I would never pay $60 for that game. But if it dropped to like $20, I might be
Yeah,
like, oh yeah,
maybe.
I'm like maybe I'll try it. Like the last one I played was Monster Hunter Cry, whatever the Wii one was.
I don't
Yes.
know.
It was the Wii one. Um, and like I got into it for a little bit, but it just didn't really like. It was a game that's like I enjoyed it when I played it, but if I wasn't playing it, I had to force myself to play it, kind of deal.
Hmm.
I don't know if you know what I mean. Like sometimes I'll buy games and I'll be like, I'll try this, and then I won't hate it, but I won't like it enough to want to keep playing it. But I'll be like, I feel obligated to keep playing it,
No,
so
that's fair. That's fair.
yeah, that's how it was last time I played Monster Hunter. Hey, Brandon says that the new one is much better. But Brandon and I obviously have different tastes in certain genres of games.
Yes.
So the weight on that doesn't really weigh as much as, say, like some of his indie recommendations, where it's like, hey, this is a genre I know I like. And Brandon says it's really good. It probably is really good. Whereas this is like a genre I'm very, like, not super thrilled about a lot of times. I don't
Hmm.
know if it's something that I would like. Um, so I don't know. I mean, like I said, if I can find it for $20, maybe I'll do it.
Yeah, maybe.
But yeah, that's just kind of that's where I am. Capcom does have a sale going on right now. I didn't even look to see what the price was for it. I have like a wish list set up, so it like will email me with these things, but
Hmm.
let's see if it's even on there. No, no Monster Hunter right now. Resident Evil games are all on sale though.
Ooh, that's
That's
what's crazy. That's another series that I wish I could play. Just can't do it. I love watching it. I will watch it for hours. Cannot play it.
Which ones have you tried? I know we've talked about this before, but I don't remember.
I've tried the remake of one, which actually probably was the closest you would get to me completing a Resident Evil game because I actually really liked it. Um,
Yeah, because
or is
that's
it the
more
remake of
puzzle.
two? Whichever. No, remake of two. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Um,
okay, yeah.
um, and I want to play four because I know that's supposed to be like definitively like the one to play.
Yeah, I think it's
Um,
easily the best one.
so like maybe I'll play four,
Like
but
one, at least the original versions, like 0, 1, 2, 3, Code Veronica. They're very heavily puzzle games with like some shooting elements in there.
mhm,
Four is where it kind of switches to like an action game with some puzzle elements in there. And then five is just like straight up action, and it just keeps going from there.
yeah,
Um, and then what? Seven is at least more of like a pseudo horror game. Like they like stepped it back quite a bit.
yeah,
Eight I haven't even touched, so I can't really say how much that one differs. But um, yeah, I mean, I would say four is probably my favorite. And I think it's like one of the very approachable ones. Or you could always go with one of the. I think that like the Revelations games are both very approachable as well. You
uh-huh.
could always go that route, um, and they're super cheap too. Like they're ones on sale right now for Switch for $8.
Hmm.
So yeah, um, so yeah, those games. Okami's on sale too. I want to play Okami again.
Ooh, yeah.
But that game's deceivingly long. I think that's the
Oh
biggest
yeah.
surprise about it. Because you think you're over in like 20 hours, and they're like, no, you are not. Like, you're only a quarter away through this game. I'm like, oh. Yeah. I don't know if I have anything else exciting to talk about that I played or
Okay.
watched or anything. No, I don't think so. That's it. Do you want to try to like scuffle on the news?
I mean, yeah, I feel like we got two big news topics that we can talk about.
Okay.
So, there's no,
News us what?
I forgot there's no news song. I didn't know when to start.
News.
Uh, the the first biggest thing, which was actually the newest thing for today, is the kickoff of Gamescom opening night live. Uh, the Jeff Keighley extravaganza.
Oh,
Um, I forget how long. I think Gamescom is what like this basically like this weekend. I don't know how they
that's
do it
about
in
right.
Germany. How they do it in Germany. Let me see here. Let me
Very
see here.
efficiently.
I guess so. I don't want these cookies. Damn it. Um, oh, the fucking dates are all fucky because it's German. All right, so from the 24th to the 28th. So it actually doesn't start officially till tomorrow. So today was just the kickoff, as it were. And there were some new things announced during the opening night live. There were some things revisited. I don't want to go through everything because there's only certain things that I cared about. Some other things I didn't really give a shit about. And then other things that like why we even talk about like there was like a Genshin Impact trailer for something for like an update. But the biggest things that people were freaking out about was the return of Dead Island 2. People have been waiting for that to come back for a while. I forget how long ago that was announced, but it's been so long that the original
Long time.
developer has put out two Dying Light games and DLCs for it. So, so take that for what you will. So that officially got reannounced. Um, there was a Dune MMO announced for some reason.
An MMO.
An MMO for Doom, an open world survival MMO called Dune Awakening.
Oh, Dune.
Dune, not Doom, Dune.
I heard Doom. I was like,
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
Okay, it got less exciting
You got to
with
control the spices.
that.
The things I'm most excited about though, um, is new Tales from the Borderlands because the other Tales from the Borderlands was actually very good if you had played that one.
Hmm.
So that's coming out in October. We got another trailer for the Callisto Protocol, which you and I were talking about this prior to us starting to record. It's super like it wears Dead Space like not even on its sleeve, like it's wearing a Dead Space shirt, and it has like it's like cosplaying Dead Space, but like it just looks so good and it looks so brutal, and I'm super pumped for it. I will be playing this one, for sure. What else did
Looks
we get?
fantastic.
Yes, yes, it does. It will scratch that. It will be funny though because like I'll be playing this and the Dead Space remaster this year, so like I'm curious to see which one I like more. What else?
Does
What else?
Callisto Protocol come out this year?
December 2nd, I believe, is the current date that it comes
Okay.
out. Um,
So they're within a close window of each other, at least.
yeah, because I think that's like what early 2023.
Yeah, I think March, I want to say.
Okay, yeah. Got a new trailer, a story trailer for Sonic Frontiers, which I have no idea what the story is. But this new story trailer if you're interested. I'll be waiting on this one to come out and see what people are saying about it because I don't think I bought a Sonic game since Lost World came out. I think that's the last one I purchased.
Like last new one?
Yes, for the Wii U.
Because I say, because you did like Sonic Mania.
Okay. Mania I'm not like I didn't include into this because it's like Mania like I knew Mania was gonna be great. I'm talking about like main 3D Sonic game. I mean,
Okay.
Mania is just more 2D Sonic fun. Like and it wasn't made by Sega, so that's why it was good. Uh, but the newest 3D Sonic game. So I'll be waiting to see what people say about that before I buy it.
I hope the story's just something like just absolutely obtuse. It's
Oh,
like
it's gonna be
they steal the story from like Mario 64. Like, Amy
just
wants
like
to make you a cake. Come to the castle.
it's the GTA 4 story. I don't know. It's weird. Their take on Sonic is always weird to me because it's like I feel like they look at Nintendo, what Nintendo does with like their major characters. So like you got Kirby, who like they'll just every game just make up a new villain and it doesn't matter and it's still really fucking fun.
Yeah.
Zelda, which like obviously they did open world for Breath of the Wild, and like that turned out to be really good. And then like Mario always does something different, and like
Yeah.
it always works out for them. Except like for Sonic, they always try something different as well, but they can just never execute it right. And I don't know why that is. Like I don't know why that is because like originally like do they just not have like a set idea? And I'm like, well, no, that's not true because I feel like that Nintendo basically plays Mad Libs with most of their major characters in their next iteration of games. So like, what is it? And it's just probably like lazy writing or just shit. Like I don't know.
It's
So
got to be time. Because
yeah,
Nintendo will
yeah.
give Miyamoto like and Aonuma like infinite amount of time to get those games right.
But
I don't think Sega can afford to just be like, here's unlimited time to like make the best Sonic game ever.
like that's the thing is they need to do that because they just keep shitting out poo poo games. So like, what's the point of keep rushing out like really shit ass games if they're just gonna be stinkers?
Yeah, and I think the other thing is too, and just kind of to a point you kind of just like made, but the other problem I think they have too is like even when they have like a glimmer of a good idea, they don't just pick up the pieces that they had and be like, okay, let's, the first game was okay, but we had a lot of good ideas.
Yeah,
Let's refine them and make a better second game. They're like, no, just fucking start over again. Like,
yeah.
brand new idea. They're like,
I
no, you had
think
something good.
I think the closest they got to something good post like that early 2000s era was like Sonic Colors. Cuz Sonic Colors was fine. It was a very fine game. Not good, just fine. And I feel like they could have taken a lot of what made that game fine and like improved upon it and then maybe made like another like passable game and then like kind of build up from there, but like they just don't. So I don't know. I wish GameFly or like Redbox games still existed because I would definitely like Redbox rent this just to be like, let's see. But that's not available anymore, so can't do that. So I'll just wait. Maybe when my friends will buy it and I can borrow it from them. But yeah. So there's some new stuff for that. What else did we get? Lords of the Fallen announcement trailer, which apparently this was a game that was announced like 8 years ago.
Okay. I don't even know what that is.
I remember, yeah. So it says here, The Lords of the Fallen was announced from Hexworks. It's a follow-up to 2014 Lords of the Fallen. So it's Lords, yeah, so they just added one word to that.
Okay.
Yeah. Killer Clowns from Outer Space is getting a game. I'm sure everybody here So what's funny to me about this game being announced is like this IP is lost on me, and I'm 28. You know what I mean? Like who? I don't know who was like, you know what, we really fucking need a Killer Clowns game.
It's a cult kind of thing, like a cult movie.
Yeah.
I agree. I don't think that there is a huge user base out there that's gonna be like, oh my god, Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
Finally, the triumphant return.
But I do think it is something that if you have the right developer there, I think you could make an interesting game out of it.
Yeah. I mean.
Because I think at the end of the day, like I think they could stick any IP on there as long as it's a great game. Who fucking cares?
Yeah.
But I don't know. We'll see. I mean,
I
people
feel
love
like
creepy clouds. I don't know.
I feel like the smart move would have been like, hey, let's just add these characters from this horror game into like Dead by Daylight. And then people are like, hey, what the fuck is Killer Clowns from Outer Space? And then it kind of like lights that fire again.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever fire there was for that in the first place, I don't know. Because when did that come out? Let me see.
80?
1988. So, you know, whatever.
I mean, I didn't see it until
Yeah.
probably within the last 10 years. So let's say it's a cult movie.
And then a couple other things that I was interested in. There was a new DualSense controller announced for the PlayStation 5. It's called the DualSense Edge, and it's basically like the Elite controller for Xbox Series consoles.
Uh-huh.
Just a super highly customizable controller.
Okay.
Um, Let me see. I don't know if they put a price on it. I don't think they did. So, but like it looked like you could take the toggles out, and the toggles had different functionalities, and like the toggles could pop off. And I don't know if you can maybe do like different heights. There's buttons on the back. It's a lot sleeker looking. It's got some glossy finishes on it. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I don't know. Kojima announced his next project. It's a podcast. It's not a game. So Kojima's podcast is coming to Spotify in early September and will be translated.
And it's
Don't know what it's
called,
going to be about.
I don't know.
It's
I hope
it's
he names it something cheeky like Silent Hills.
oh no, it's what the fuck is it? It does have a name. Let me see here. Oh, it's called. Damn it! I saw the name and I clicked away. It's called Brain Structure.
Okay. Random.
I mean, I'll listen to it. I don't know if it'll be enjoyable.
Especially if it's translated.
Yeah, although I it's not even the fact that it's a Kojima podcast because I would listen to like a Kojima podcast about like music, video game development, movies, like the things that he's like super passionate about. I don't
Yeah.
know what this is gonna be, so I'll give it a listen and report back. I suppose. And then the last cool thing that I was really interested in, um, there was a Mini Cooper announcement, the car brand or Mini rather, at Gamescom. There is a concept car. It's a concept Pokemon car called the Aceman, which is very lazy writing from Mini because they already make a car called the Paceman. So they just drop the P and they're like Aceman. Um, it's an electric car and it's just covered like head to toe in Pokemon stuff. So, but the Aceman, see, since I'm a car guy, I can kind of like give you a little background on this. The Aceman was already a thing, so it's not like they made this car specifically for Pokemon.
Yeah.
They've just been the first automotive brand to be smart and capitalize on the fact that they're making electric cars and pair it up with like one of the most beloved electric creatures in the galaxy, Pikachu. So like they just were like, hey, you guys got an electric thing people like? We got an electric thing people might like. Just put it together. So they showed that off, but I don't think you could buy it. It's just a
Concept kind of thing.
concept. Though there is a Pokemon card you can currently buy right now, if you offer the person who owns it enough money. There's a girl who I think she lives in Virginia because I saw her at SmashCon. She had the Pikachu Volkswagen, so I mean, if you give her like a lot of money, maybe she'll sell it to you. But otherwise, those are most of the things that I kind of had my interest peaked. There was a lot more announced, probably a lot more in Brandon's wheelhouse than my own. But I don't know. It was kind of just a ho hum sort of thing. So
I feel like Gamescom is always one of those ones. Like you never know.
yeah,
You might get some stuff. You might not.
Well, what's always funny about anything Jeff Keighley puts his little gamer hands on is that he always like I mean, disclaimer, this is his fucking job. So like before I like say this, like I know that this is his fucking job. But like he always makes everything super like it's gonna be big, it's gonna be great. You come watch it, and then like 2 hours before premiere of said show that he's hosting, he's like, listen, guys, let's just get our expectations in check. Like, I don't know why the internet's buzzing so crazy. Meanwhile, like he was just doing like just guerrilla marketing for like a month beforehand.
Yeah, he does. He's a hype
Yeah,
man. And then he realizes that it gets blown out of proportion and tries to get everyone like down the last minute. Be like, maybe you should have been getting people hyped up for the last
yeah.
3 months.
I
It's your fault.
yeah. I would honestly wouldn't be shocked if it came to found out that like he doesn't even play video games.
I don't.
Like if it,
I don't know if he does
yeah,
the video games or not. I will say I've heard that he has like a very extensive like collection of like collectible stuff. Because when I was at GameStop, like he would always come to the GameStop conferences. Like he would sit in some of the conference stuff with us. So I mean, at least seemed like he was interested. But you never know. It's also his job. So it's like, is
it
he
is
there because he
also.
wants to, or is it because it's his job? I don't know.
I was like, let me see. This is great because whenever there's like a Jeff Keighley thing, I feel like we do a small deep dive on Jeff Keighley.
We do talk
Um,
about Jeff Keighley at least twice a year, I feel like.
yeah. Well, because he got what's it? Well, he does his E3 shit, that's the last time we talked about him.
Yep.
And then there's the Game Awards coming up in December.
Yep.
But like the first thing, let me see here, because I know he used to work with like Game Trailers TV.
Yes.
Let's see. Keely's. I'm on his Wikipedia right now because I just need to know. First foray in the video game reporting and presentation had been through Cybermania '94, the Ultimate Game Awards. He was 14.
Oh.
Uh, so at that point is what inspired him to develop some sort of equivalent of the Academy Awards for video games. So,
Well, you're not quite there yet, Jeff.
I mean, yeah, no, you're not quite there. Um, the man baffled. I think he just materialized one day. Because like he did like all the final like those things with like Half Life and all that. I'm like, how did they let you in? They just let you in.
Yeah, that's true.
So
His name's got a lot of clout at this point. He could just
he's a robot. He's a robot man. I don't know.
He's the video game Mark Zuckerberg.
Yeah. No, not necessarily. I wouldn't go that far. But he's like the video game like Bono.
Okay.
I guess. Yeah, maybe. That might land. Um Otherwise the only other news stuff that I had from this week was there's a lot more acquisitions from the Embracer Group. Quick refresher on who they are. Embracer is the company that resurrected THQ from the dead.
Oh,
And it was
yeah,
like
yeah.
THQ Nordic, and it was Nordic Games, THQ Nordic, THQ, and then like now it's Embracer. So Embracer is a holding company that has a lot of studios. The last round of acquisitions that they had, they bought up Aspire, which is the company that, or Aspire, which does the ports for Mac games, Saber Interactive, THQ, Gearbox. So a lot of bigger names in their wheelhouse. This might be their largest acquisition yet. And it wasn't even from like a development studio, because they bought the game development studios that they purchased were Bitwave Games, Geotech, Singtrix, sorry, Tatsujin, Tripwire Interactive, and Tuxedo Labs. They made one more acquisition, which was not announced quite yet because of quote commercial reasons. They also acquired Limited Run Games, the company that makes limited releases of physical games.
Mm-hmm.
You probably heard me talk about them multiple times on here because I do
Oh, yeah.
buy things from them frequently. And they also own Lord of the Rings now.
Random.
Just everything. Everything Lord of the Rings. They own the IP now. They acquired Middle Earth Enterprises, which manages licensing rights across video games, merchandise, and whatnot for the Lord of the Rings. Whether or not that bleeds into TV shows and movies. I know Amazon. Is it Amazon that has that
Yeah,
new Lord of the Rings show coming out? Yeah.
that is correct.
The Lord of the Rings IP acquisition will be under a new group called Embracer Free Mode, which is a classic. Which that Free Mode will be focused on classic and retro entertainment. Um, it will sit alongside 10 other publishing brands, including Coffee Stain, which showed off Goat Simulator 3 today. Dark Horse Media, the people who make the comic books and art books and whatnot. Deep Silver, Gearbox, THQ Nordic, and Saber. Um, so yeah, they bought. So Singtrix is a karaoke company. European Geotech is a European gaming brand. Tatsujin, if you couldn't tell, is a Japanese studio. And then Tripwire, I know who they are. I don't know what they do. Um, and they also made news earlier this year because they purchased Eidos, or not even. Sorry, not just Eidos. They purchased all three Western gaming development studios from Square Enix.
Yes.
So they own Tomb Raider, Deus Ex, everything that all the American stuff that Square Enix was touching, they also now own.
Mm-hmm.
So they are quickly becoming like just a large. I don't. It's weird. I have a very weird feeling about this company, and I don't know why. But there's something ostensibly weird about them because it's like I look at Microsoft and their acquisitions, and it makes sense. It's all these different game studios, whatever. I look at like, you know, who else was having some big acquisitions? Was it Take? Was it two? Not 2K. I think Ubisoft had one or two.
I think Ubisoft was trying to get acquired.
Well, they were trying to get acquired. Oh, I think they shed some of their studios, or they shed some of their things to try and get acquired. But basically, there was some other, Sony doing the Bungie acquisition
Which is
earlier this year.
outlandishly overpriced.
Oh, yeah, horrifically overpriced. Um, so like, there's a lot of acquisitions happening lately that's like weird, but like they at least make sense in terms of like what the overall brand's focus is.
Yeah.
Embracer Group is basically just, in my opinion, it seems like they're quickly becoming another Tencent, just not on that Tencent level yet because Tencent fucking does like literally has their hands in everything. And is a much much larger conglomerate than Embracer, but Embracer's acquisitions just seem like really just all over the fucking place because you're acquiring game studios, you're acquiring like media publishing companies, um, like entire intellectual properties and distributions of things. Like it's weird. It's just a weird mishmash of things that they're buying, and then like, where do they get the money? Like who like they just kind of like appeared randomly one day, it seems like, and just have been buying things left and right. Because I remember when forget when the THQ thing happened. But when like they originally when THQ went south and they were doing like their huge sell off of things, like Nordic bought all of that stuff, and they were like, "Who the fuck is Nordic Games?" Um, so I don't know. It's weird. They were founded
Yeah,
in
it is very weird.
2011. They also own Coke Media, which is like a huge. Also, I mean, the Coke name is like really really big. And they're based in Karlstad, which is where is that?
I don't
In
know.
Sweden. It's in Sweden. Sorry. So they're a very large Swedish conglomerate.
Maybe it's
But
just the enthusiast? I don't
I
know.
don't know.
You're right. It is a random Mod Podge. I'm sure they have like, I mean, at least you would think. I say I'm sure. You would hope. At least they have like a roadmap of like where they're headed with all these things.
Yeah.
Um, and like, but just right now, all we outwardly see is like bits and pieces here and there. I don't know.
Yeah.
I
What
don't
I
know.
outwardly see is just a blob that's absorbing things that like may or may not succeed. So like, are you just gonna have like in 10 years this huge company is going belly up because they just had a lot of acquisitions, didn't know what to do with it all, and then it just goes belly up, and now all these companies change hands like again. But like, what's weird is too is like any company who gets acquired by them like has nothing but like great things to say,
Well, that's good at least.
which is like also weird. Because like I can't think of any companies I have like that much good shit to say about. You know what I mean? Like they're all like it's like they're drinking like it's like the Kool-Aid. They're all in like a fucking cult, like the
Yeah.
Embracer cult. I don't know. It's weird, but take it what you will. It's a little tin hat shit for tinfoil hat theories for me, I guess. But uh, but yeah. So more acquisitions from that this week. Also, something that wasn't in the Gamescom stuff that was weird that it wasn't in the Gamescom stuff because they chose today at opening night live to show off their new controller. But randomly last night, Sony announced the release quarter of PSVR 2,
Oh,
which will be early 2023.
okay. Which I think is what we figured based on some of the release date stuff that they had out.
Yes. This is weird. They randomly posted on like Instagram that, hey guys, early 2023. And then like the smaller thing, in my opinion, by comparison, they put on like the stage. Just like,
Yeah.
I mean, typical Sony, but just kind of weird, all things considered. But uh, but yeah, so that's a lot of the newsy stuff that I saw from today and this past week. I don't know if you had anything else that you noticed.
Just some little things. I mean, one of them we kind of talked about pre-show. Sakurai's got something he's going to talk about today.
Oh
We
yeah.
don't know what it is. He did his last day of his like smash pick of the day, which just started in 2019 yesterday, and is like, stay tuned for something new tomorrow, but really didn't give any like rhyme or reason to what it could be. Um, so I mean, it could be anything from like a new project he's working on, and just whatever's on the top of his mind. Who knows?
Yeah.
So we'll see. It said it's not going to be a daily thing anymore. It'll be um, much less specific days. But I mean, we'll see. But it could be interesting. I mean, maybe we'll have something really interesting to talk about there next week. The other thing that I saw was that it's something we'll end up talking about next week, anyways. But well, presumably, is that Nintendo's doing a Treehouse live this week for
Oh yeah, they are.
Splatoon and that other game. I can't think of it now.
Uh, Jesus, why am I forgetting it too?
It's something Ella. Something Ella.
Harvestella.
Yeah, it's Harvestella. I wanted to call it Breadzilla. And I was like,
Brazil. I mean,
I
would
know
I
that's
play that?
not
Probably.
I mean, that would be a much more exciting Square Enix game, I think.
Yeah,
Bridezilla RPG. Oh, could you fucking imagine?
it'd be great.
Yeah.
I'd play it.
Oh, I would 1,000% play that game. Oh, it would just be just delightful. No, Harvestella. So both those things will be on there. I mean, I wouldn't expect anything mind blowing there, but usually they do a really good job of like showcasing a lot of the gameplay stuff in a way that's more not like trailery. They're kind of just like, hey, we're gonna take you in, we're gonna show you some behind the scenes stuff, some cool stuff that's here. So I always like their presentations. Do I always watch all of them? No, but I think that Splatoon, there's a lot of exciting stuff going on there. It'll be nice to see everything in motion, especially because the Splatfest, the demo is this weekend.
Yes.
So just kind of get that all out there before you get a chance to play it. And it's pretty nice that they're doing it for a whole day, so at least you can get to see a pretty wide swath of what's available. So yeah, I think that will be really exciting. Um, I got my demo already downloaded and ready to go, so that's exciting. And it's nice too because actually they send you out because it does require the Nintendo Online, but if you don't have it, or even if you do have it, I guess they send you out like a 7-day thing. So they're like, here's a 7-day code if you want to play it. I'm like, okay, that's cool. Don't need it, but appreciate it. So there's that. The only other thing I could think of was they had like a mini Pokemon unveil at the World Champions this last week. They
Uh-huh.
showed off. I think it was kind of like a trailer, just kind of to get people hyped up for next year, because obviously competitive will move over to the new game. So they showed off a new Pokemon, which was Cyclizar,
Yep.
which looks like the modern day version of the legendaries, but it's just
It
like it's a
does look like
very
that. Yeah.
generic Pokemon instead of like some like fancy jet engine. So
Fancy challenge.
that one looks like a fancy jet engine. Honestly, like I love Scarlet. Like I like the coloring and like all the stuff there. But that like the legendary in that game is just delicious. I love it.
Mhm.
because it's got like the LCD eyes. It turns into a jet engine and flies. Like, that's fucking rad shit. I like it. But alas, yeah, no, there's Cyclizar, which is just kind of like the boring version of that Pokemon. So you get that, and then it showed off just like some new moves that like the Pokemon have that obviously will have some like competitive benefit. So I think they're probably interesting moves, and there's stuff that you would like use in the game, even if you're not into competitive Pokemon. Like what is it? I think one of the moves lets you like it makes you like take the damage, but you don't take like the other effects of like the move. Like what was it? Like fake out or whatever. Like you still take the damage for fake out, but you like you'd be immune to like the stun afterwards. So you'd still be able to keep going. Or like if it was a move that like froze, like you could still take the damage from like the ice, but you wouldn't get like frozen afterwards. Like those kind of things. So I mean, those are kind of like you can obviously see like the value there for like competitive players. They showed off some more of the crystallizing or whatever it's called. I don't remember. I always forget.
Oh
Whatever
yeah,
that new
the whatever that
thing is.
new form thing is called.
Yeah. Which I mean, obviously, like they showed it as like I don't even remember what Pokemon it was. I think it was Tyranitar was up against like a water Pokemon. They're like, oh no, Tyranitar's weak against water, but now watch him crystallize into his water form. Oh, it did minimal damage now. It didn't kill him. Like those kind of things. Like, yeah, that's cool. I mean, yeah, I got that from the last trailer, but nice that you actually showed it to us. So there's that. I just don't understand like the drip feed with this game. Just fucking like
And it showed
open
off.
the floodgates.
Yeah,
It's like 2 months away.
they'll
So
probably have like a dedicated Nintendo Direct on it in like October.
I don't maybe. Maybe the Pokemon Company's weird. Like I don't understand their stuff. Like if you remember with like Pokemon Arceus, they didn't even show off the final forms of the starter Pokemon until like a month after the game came out.
Oh
They're like,
yeah,
look at the final forms of the Pokemon and the Hisui region. Be like, yeah, we already fucking finished the game. Thank
yeah, we
you.
already know, dickhead.
I already got Arceus. That's how much time I put in this. I don't need to know what these Pokemon are. So I just want to. I mean, it all gets leaked before. This game has been so extensively leaked at this point. It's impressive. Everything you want to know about the game is pretty much out there. The only thing you're missing is like the visuals to go along with it, pretty much. So, yeah. Did I see any other news? I don't think so. And that's it. That's the big stuff. It's not a big news week, but presumably a lot of news will happen at Gamescom and, outside between now and next week. So next week will probably be a big news week. Usually right before a show, everything just kind of dries up. So, yeah, that's all I got.
I don't got much else of anything. I don't think there's anything coming out in the week that I'm like looking forward to, but I don't know. We'll see.
Like new games, you're talking about?
Yeah, I don't know if there's anything. Yeah, I don't know. I know I gotta play more Live Alive or whatever.
Live a live.
Live a live.
Yeah.
Say la vie.
I heard the game's good. I mean, that's what you guys seem to think too, from
No,
what
that's
little you
fine.
said. But I still didn't even bother to boot up the demo. I still booted up the demo for Project Triangle Strategy, or what the fuck it's called. Sit on that demo. I'm still sitting on the demo from like Monster Hunter Stories 2. I downloaded the demo for Monster. I downloaded the demo for Monster Hunter Rise. Totally forgot about that. I really want to try out that game. I guess that's a great way to do it too. Did not play that yet. So yeah, so there's a bunch of things, but I'm still stuck on Xenoblade, and I'm sure I'll be stuck on it next week too. And I got to finish up at least a little bit more of Fire Emblem Warriors, because I was like getting pretty close to like finishing up that storyline that I was on. So there's that, and then next month Splatoon. So I'm gonna get that to look forward to. And then I think the only thing that might pique my interest when we talked about it, I don't remember if it was pre-show or during this episode now already, is the Turtles Cowabunga collection.
Oh, that was a pre-episode, yeah.
Yeah, because that looks it's a very enticing deal. I like because we're not going to get this stuff on like Nintendo Switch Online. Like Turtles is not something that's going to be there. It's a licensed game. This is how I'm justifying it, at least. It's a set of licensed games, which I'm sure was like excruciatingly annoying to negotiate.
Yeah.
So I was like, I'm gonna buy this when it comes out because who knows how long it will be out there. Like you might as well get it while you can, and then you can just be like, oh, here's another reason to play these games. And I don't even. The only way I could play them now is if I hooked up my Nintendo, which I mean I could, but
Yeah.
most of the games I would play I have available on something else newer at this point. So I mean, it's very rare for me to be like, let me turn on my NES. So because you can get it on just something else. But now this will be like, I mean, not that you ever would want to play Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the original one for the NES, as we talked about not that long
Oh yeah,
ago.
no, I would no, absolutely
But
not.
the second one's good. I would hope too that they put in like quality of life features, like like stage states or rewinds or whatever. That would also be nice. But yeah, that's it. That's all. That's all my like upcoming, near upcoming stuff that I'm looking forward to. So, and presumably, well, actually, just other stuff. Supposedly, Sony is going to be doing a state of play next month,
Yeah,
which I
like
think has been
early next month.
yeah, September 8th is what the rumor is. And it's been long rumored for a while. So I don't think it's terribly surprising there. Because I think that's when they're supposed to like really open the floodgates on God of War. And
Yes.
then supposedly Nintendo will be doing one as well. September Direct, which who knows with them. A lot of people, I think it's just a lot of those leakers for Nintendo, I think they just guess. Like there's no Nintendo leaker that I'm just like, oh yeah, you definitely know your shit.
Yeah.
Uh, most of them I think are just educated guesses, and they just get a bunch of
That,
shit
or I
right.
think if you make like some sort of batshit like prediction, it'll come true because like sometimes Nintendo would just be like, "What's this crazy thing? Kirby first person shooter."
Well, there
Like,
was
oh,
the one leaker who was oh, I can't even think of his name now. He used to be on Game Explain, but he works on another website now. He opened up a fake Nintendo leaker account because he was trying to prove a point. And what he did was before the last direct, like so it's just a brand new Twitter, like there's no followers. And so then he went through and he just made like a week beforehand, just all like a ton of outlandish predictions, like anything you could think of. And then after the direct, he just deleted all the ones that weren't true and just
oh,
left up all the ones that ended up becoming right. And people were like, oh my God, he's a leaker. And then he was just like, no, I'm not. This is what I did. I made all this fake shit, delete it afterwards, and then you guys all thought it was real because you came in and looked. It was like this is how the fakers get you. Like, don't believe the stuff nobody knows. So, and also too, Nintendo's to some degree predictable enough that you'd be able to guess something right. So, yeah, the case in point. So,
yeah,
yeah, you ready to wrap up?
yeah, I'm ready.
All right. Well then, thank you everyone for listening to us tonight. Don't forget to find us on iTunes, Stitcher, Google, Amazon, wherever you get your podcasts. Also, game-crunch.com has all our latest episodes. If you want to reach out to us, we're on Facebook, Twitter, or you can send us an email at gamecrunchcast@gmail.com. Nick, any final thoughts?
I've got none.
All right. Well, with that said, my name is Mike Anastasia. You can find me on Clash Penguin on Twitter or your favorite gaming console. Until next week, game on.
Games. Every time I watch a trailer for the Callisto Protocol, it's like it's not even trying to hide the fact that it's a Dead Space game.
No, I know. I know that's what I love the most about it.
Yeah, which is fine. Like whatever we got to do here, boys.